Yes, they have a better legacy. They've done more in the game, club game. But for England, wearing the England jersey, Kobbie Mainoo as a central midfielder has already surpassed Gerrard and Lampard combined. That is not an opinion, that is a scientific fact. So this is something that I sort of, mentioned during in the Netherlands game, which is we need to figure out, okay, what does man of the match mean? And I think I'm beginning to know what it means, even though I think it's false. So I thought man of the match was which player performed the best. Keyword, which player performed the best over the course of the game. So in a sense, it is almost impossible for a substitute to be a man of the match, especially a late substitute. But what we're now saying is man of the match is the individual or the player who had the most defining moments. That is stupid because it makes it extremely impossible for defenders to ever win man of the match. Because more likely than not, it is attackers that will decide a game. So you can't have an attacker who comes on for 2-3 minutes, scores an amazing goal, and say he is the best performer of the match, is the man of the match. But it depends, what do you define it to be? If you're defining man of the match for the person who has the defining moments, cool. I think that's trash. Man of the match should be, who was the best performer? Cool, you scored the goal. Cool, you had the most iconic moments. But we have to look at who was the best performer. On that pitch, England against Netherlands, the best footballer on that pitch was your boy. This was the best player on that pitch, hands down. Hands down, no expenses paid. This was the best player on the pitch. Kobbie Mainoo was outstanding. Every time he moved forward, interceptions, decision-making, composure on the ball, distribution of the ball. Everything he did was, oh, wow, this kid is playing way above his years. And what he was doing is something Rice can't do. What he's doing is something that if Conor Gallagher attempted to do, his brain would freeze and he would probably break his legs and he'd have to be admitted into hospital. This position, or rather this role that Mainoo is playing, is something that England have missed. And it goes to my Gerrard and Lampard points a bit later, but 100%, he should have won man of the match. Because the best player on that pitch, the best performer in that game was Kobbie Mainoo. Because remember, it was once the greatest game. The first half was good, second half wasn't good, the quality wasn't good. But the guy that stood out and was the most quality and stood head and shoulders over everyone else on that pitch for the plethora of that game was Kobbie Mainoo. So 100% he deserved man of the match. And I'm going to go one step further. England are in the final, but it's been through gid. They've not got into the final through quality or amazing football. So when you just say, okay, who has been England's best performer? It's hard. Bellingham has grossly underperformed. And again, I told you, I'm not shocked by how bad he's been, but I'm a bit surprised. But he's grossly underperformed. Foden, as usual, he's underperformed. Kane has underperformed. Rice, who is normally pretty good, he's been a bit shaky. Saka has been good. So I'd say Saka has been one of the really good performers. Gahey has been one of the real good performers. When he's been called upon, Pickford has been also very good as well. Because when he's been called upon, he's been able to say what's up. So I think some names you would mention, even if it's been a bad bunch, Pickford, Gahey, Saka, those are the names. So Pickford, Gahey, Saka, those are the names I said, okay, this is good. Everyone else, Bellingham, Kane, Foden, Rice, even Walker, it's not been great. But if you were to ask me who has been England's best player in these Euros, the moment, remember this, you started with Trent, didn't really work out. Then inexplicably, Southgate didn't call me, nor did he call any other Chelsea fan. He thought that a Conor Gallagher and a right midfielder would work. And when Southgate did that, Southgate was like, Conor Gallagher, if you dare go on that pitch again, I'll punch you in the face. So now Conor Gallagher, he's used as like a pit bull. You just let loose just to F stuff up. Basically, he's like a spoiler that you bring on for the last 5 minutes just to mess things up. He's not here for football. He's here just to fight. The moment Kobbie Mainoo was introduced, England completely changed. The team completely changed. It's like, wow, England now have a midfield. England can now control certain aspects of the game. And this is a player that England have missed. A guy who gave him the ball, he's going to make those decisions. Declan Rice is a DM. He's a guy that protects the defense, and he does a very good job. Rice is a crucial member in any team. 100% he's crucial, but he has a specific role. You see, when we talk about the midfield, there are many different roles that denote the midfielder. There's the attacking midfielder, there's the central midfielder, there's the DM. You can even throw in the box to box. But in every team, a central midfielder is essential. Because what you call it, it's the metronome. It's where give him the ball, he is going to keep possession, he's going to make the right decision, and he's going to make that pass that now gives you a transition. So he is like the sponge that you just keep going to, because you are sure that give him the ball, rest assured he's going to make the right decision. It's why Javi was so good. Every time you give the ball to Javi, he'll never lose the ball. He'll always make the right decision. He'll always maintain proper possession. And when need be, if he finds it, he will know the forward pass to play. And what makes Mainoo so good is that he's very forward thinking. Whether it's a forward pass, whether it's carrying the ball forward, whether it's getting into transition, whether it's breaking the line, he's always moving forward. And that makes such a dramatic change for England, because it is something that England have missed for a long time. And I mean a long time. And let's be real, when I first saw him break into the scene, I was like, who is this kid? Because when I first saw him, I was like, wait. He's how old? And I'm watching him and I'm like, bro, because this is my position. Like the position that I played most of the time is central midfield. So those roles I look at specifically, and I'm like, this guy has good control, good first touch, good decision making, great composure, balance on the ball, knows exactly what he's doing. He's aware of everything around him. He has good peripheral vision. I'm like, this is a very accomplished central midfielder and is still a teenager. What? And then once he now got into England, I was like, bro, England now have a midfield. We now have a midfield. And simply, you have a midfield general, a guy who can really dictate things in that midfield scenario, which is going to be very crucial when you're going up against the Don himself, a.k.a. Rodri. But the theme of this video, Gerrard and Lampard. The problem that England had a very particular problem, because it was many great players for their clubs and having to find a way to fit them into this team. But the issue that England had is neither of these guys understood how to play central midfield. You see, Lampard is an attacking midfielder. He's a goal-scoring midfielder. Gerrard is like, he's a jack of all trades. He's not really a specialist, he's a jack of all trades. But the key thing is neither of them is a metronome. Neither of them have the discipline, the ability, or the talent to properly play the central midfield role. So once you had them in that midfield, it was, who do you give the ball to? Who can we give the ball to who can maintain possession for us and ensure that there's good decision making and really give us a measure of control? Neither of them could, because neither of them had the discipline, the composure, all the skill sets to properly play the central midfield position. Lampard, one of the great goal-scoring midfielders that we've seen. Gerrard, one of the most dynamic, multifaceted midfielders that we've seen. But neither of them was a central midfielder. You need a Javi, you need a Toni Kroos, you need a Rodri, you need a Modric, you need a Rakitic. These are essentials in a football team. These are essentials. And the big mistake that England made was This was the guy that England had to have one of the first teams on the team sheet. Whether you sacrifice Lampard or Gerrard, the team had to be built around Scholes. Where Scholes is the midfielder, he's a metronome, and he's the guy that dictates things. Because it was always when you saw all of them that, in terms of central midfielder, Scholes was superior. He was the best. And he understood how to play the position because he had the ability, the composure, the decision making, and just the skill sets to properly play the central midfield role. Lampard and Gerrard couldn't. So when I bring in your boy Mainoo, Kobbie Mainoo doesn't have the goal scoring ability that Lampard has. Kobbie Mainoo doesn't have the dynamic, multi-positional sense that Gerrard has, where Gerrard can play DM, he can play a second midfield, he can play number 10, he can play wing, boom. Or even the shooting ability that Gerrard had. But what Mainoo has that neither of them has is the ability to play central midfield. The ability to ensure a measure of control for his team. The ability to have composure on the ball. And those things are pivotal in a football team. Those things are pivotal in a football team and are things that simply Lampard and Gerrard did not have. So this is what England have always been missing, because the issue was whenever England played a technical team that had a really good midfielder, they lost control because Lampard and Gerrard simply did not know how to control the game. So whenever England had possession, they easily recycled it and they easily gave it away because they did not have, neither of them understood how to, okay, let's calm down, chill out, pick a pass, find those pockets, carry the ball, and just have a measure of composure and control as a central midfielder. Neither of them were able to do this. So whenever they played a Portugal, a Croatia, a Spain, guys that were far more technical and had that central midfielder, they got out-controlled, they got out-possessed, so they were literally just fighting for their lives. And the only reason why they survived was due to the defense. But in international football, which is slower, a lot more methodical, it is pivotal. It is vital. You have some measure of control in midfield. It is extremely important. England would have looked very different if they built a team around Scholes. 100%. Will they have one more and everything? Who knows? But the team would have looked very different if Scholes, you are a metronome, you are the main guy, and we feed off of you. And we use that as a platform and as a foundation of our midfield. The team would look different. But if you're using Gerrard and Lampard as your platform and your foundation, you are screwed. Because you do not have a midfield. You do not have a measure of control in midfield because these guys are not central midfielders. Remember, you have your DM, your box-to-box, your central midfielder, your attacking midfielder. But in Kobbie Mainoo, this is a guy who, this is a player that England have needed for a very long time. A very long time. Now, Spain is going to be a whole ball of wax because these are guys who are excellent at keeping possession and excellent at maintaining a level of control. And Rodri is one of the best in the business in being an amazing metronome and controlling a game and making it very difficult for you to get the ball off of him and very difficult for you to now snatch control from him. So he has to work cut out. Now, United have faced City before and Mainoo has faced Rodri before. Africa Cup final. But this is different now. It's a European Championship Cup final, so the level is a bit higher. But at least England are in a better place where you have this guy because I'm sorry, Kobbie Mainoo, he has been England's best performer. Okay, best performer, England's best player has been Kobbie Mainoo. Just okay, who has been England's best player? The best player for England has been Kobbie Mainoo. He's the guy that, for me, has really stood out from everyone else. And it's how funny how life works. Foden, Bellingham, Kane. So all these names, Bellingham, Real Madrid, Foden, Premier League Player of the Year, Kane, record goal scorer, all underperformed. But this little teenager who's only just broke into the team and who had to actually fight for a place in the team. Remember, Foden, Bellingham, Kane, 100% starters. Mainoo had to fight for a place to get to the team and had to fight for a starter. It's turned out to be, he's actually been the best player. And I think moving forward, if England are smart, this is one of the first things you need on your team sheets. You need your goal scorer. You need your defenders. You need your attacking wingers. But in international football, you need your controlling midfielder. Because that's your controlling midfielder is your foundation. It is your base that sets the stage for your attackers to now cook and now put them in the best post position to now try and get a goal for you. Everyone, you all need a foundation for everything else to flourish. So shout out to your boy Kobbie Mainoo, man. And huge game on Sunday. And I think it's the biggest game of his career. Like, prior to this, you would argue that maybe the FA Cup final, the biggest game of his career. This, it'll be the biggest game of his career. And wow, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because, bro, and I think Kobbie Mainoo knows this, this ain't no FA Cup final, bro. Okay, this ain't no Winston Churchill Invitational. This is a European Championship final. When he puts on that concrete jersey, there's an extra weight. There's an extra weight of expectation, and there's huge pressure. You think United is pressure. Oh, that's pressure. This is England in a final, in their third ever final. So for Kobbie Mainoo, you now have to, however good you've been, you now have to step up 5, 6, 8 levels because you're now going up against by far the best team in this Euros, the best midfield in this Euros, and an excellent team. So Mainoo, you're going to have to be at your very best, plus more, to compete against an excellent team. It gets real.